Jalo Zandile Khumalo o bitsa re emagameni a mathatho pele ga fo Xolinqongo o fitile fa le ene ka pina ya gagwe e monate thata Yolanda Mantlhane a rialo a re akekho yo njengawe mo Bojanala FM. Ke nako e maleba ya gore re ka amogela ka kwano ka gangwe fela o bakeng a mafatshe ke mokwadi wa rona wa buka mo tsatsing la gompieno. Tlo go na le puisano le ene jalo mo tsatsing leno la gompieno. Yeah, check the water.
Mike, wait.
Okay. Sorry. It's up.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Indeed, Moretsi o rategang wa Bojanala FM 90.6, your soul elevator. Re na le a gentleman, re na le a young man in our studios mo letsatsing la gompieno. Ke ene o bakeng mafatshe. Re buisana le ene ka his book ALUTA CONTINUA, The Struggle Continues. Madume go wena o bakeng, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning. Ke dumedisa le baretsi kwa gae.
All right. Just to start us off, for someone o sa itseng o bakeng ke mang?
Ke kare ke like a young boy who grew up go Phokeng go Masosowani and started at the writing at the age of 14. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then coming to your book, ALUTA CONTINUA, The Struggle Continues. Wabana, that phrase alone, ikechi. And ke dumela gore we've heard it in so many places. Mefela, together with that that phrase that is there, you also put up a quote, Yaha Athol Fugard. If we are not careful, we might be remembered as the country where everybody arrived too late. Wakota for my children, my Africa. Now, what inspired you to use that heading for your book? You know, to use that phrase as for your book, especially front cover.
This is like a Portuguese phrase that was used back then in Mozambique it was actually popularized by Samora Machel, which is the first president for Mozambique. So it was a phrase that was used in the liberation movement to free Mozambique from the Portuguese colonialism.
Okay.
Yes.
And so why did you choose to use it for your book specifically?
Basically this book is based on it's on a South African context, and what inspired me to use this title or other phrases that I've realized, even though that we are in the democracy era, we are actually not fully liberated. We still have some of the issues we encountered back then in the apartheid era, and we are not actually free as we imagine as a country.
Okay. Now your book is a poetry book, and I'm curious to know, Jorge, what made you fall in love with poetry? You know, I remember you have your first book out as well, Ellen Jorge. It's also based on poetry, and now this book, ALUTA CONTINUA, The Struggle Continues, is also a poetry book. What inspired you, or what made you fall in love with poetry?
This is something that started back then in 2019. I would usually write poems whenever I'm free, and even when I'm in class. But in terms of one of the people who who inspired me to be where I am today is the popular Walter Rakau from Skim Sam, whom I usually used to witness on TV and all that. So from there, that's what inspired me to write. Yeah, I liked his style of play in terms of words.
Okay. And now, what is your favorite poem in the book? You know, there are many short poems inside the book. Mefela, which one stands out for you, Khotsa? Which one is your favorite of the book?
Well, the first one is the opening poem on this book. It's based on the theme of this book, and it's titled after the book. So it is one of my favorites because it gets to speak about the political space we have in South Africa, the kind of issues we have in the African diaspora, and having to witness the struggle that the Palestinians face in this post-democracy era.
Okay, and then Obakeng, another question to you is this. You've published this book, Kgotsa, you've written this book at such a young age, and I reckon gore there are many young people out there, ba ba batlang go tshwana le wena. There is someone who also has that dream to one day write a book, Kgotsa, publish a book. What is your word of encouragement, Kgotsa, advice to a young person who is also looking into this and wants to one day be where you are today?
I would simply advise them to make their own research, because getting into this industry without any knowledge, it's some sort of a setback, and it
Mm,
requires you to make continuous research as like certain things change. And one of the common challenges that I've realized many people face, including me, is funding to sharpen their craft, to promote their craft and all
okay.
that. So what I would simply advise them is that they should not give up despite the setbacks they encounter, despite the financial situation, because at some
Mm,
stage I did not have nothing at all, and I started from nothing. So I did not let my financial background or status to stop me from pursuing my dreams.
wow. And you know, it's such a beautiful thing to see gore the book coming out at such a time when we are celebrating 30 years of democracy, and also now just starting Heritage Month. It's beautiful to see gore you touch on a lot of what happened, you know, at the time when we were coming to independence, what happened at the time when we are coming to democracy. Now, for someone o e leng gore o batla go kry your book, for someone who wants to get a hold of your book, how can they contact you, or how can they get a hold of the book?
For now, it's not in bookstores or any third-party retailers. They can simply get it directly from me and check me on Facebook, Obaking Mafatsi, and on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, or rather X. It's at Obaking_Mafatsi, and then in terms of my WhatsApp number, it's 0646163235.
Okay. And to close it off, I think it's only relevant that I do this, okay? Ka gore ke wena mokwadi wa buka, and you write about poetry. Now, I'm going to ask you just to close us off by quoting one of the poems in the book. Ready?
Okay. In the ghetto Gomorrah, life limps as pockets of residents. Nostrils are greeted by an unpleasant smell, and Alex greets the citizens with confidence. The sounds of collected cans and scraps can make a melody for poetry when the radio is no more, and poverty looms around like a homeless orphan. Instead, these cans birth a few cents for the homeless man to be high and raise his hopes high that one day he will sigh and wake up to Alexandra coughing out chapters in English like in the beloved Sante.
Wow. Yeah, no, you deserve a round of applause. Ne ke nagana gore o tlo quota jaaka one of those praise poets. Mefela, I hats off to you. You've done great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming into the studio today. Ke dumela gore all is going to be well with you in your journey, you know, and ke dumela gore you are just going to continue doing wonderful and great things. Thank you so much for being here and for, of course, bringing us your book. Ke dumela gore o tla nsaenela yona kere, so that one day ga ile gore ke go bona o receive a grand award, le nna tlabe ke le one of those saying, yeah, no, I've met this guy. Ke a meet man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you to the listeners at home.
All right. Pa, pa, pa.